So, all right, what we're going to talk about here is the bodybuilding now. We're going to have Bundy go ahead and strip down. You're going to get to see a little bit of a show. What we're looking for in the bodybuilding, you got 8 poses now. There's a lot more for us to compare. Plus, you got the 4 relaxed poses. These are so important because this is what's going to get you called out for the most part. You know, our first look of you is coming out in a lineup in a group of 6 to 8, depending on the size of the class in the weight class. And this is our first look of you. We might get to see a front double bicep, a back double bicep, but these relaxed poses really are what's going to get you in that first call out. And the whole goal is to be in that first call out, you know? So what we want to see in the bodybuilding division, we want that conditioning. We want the striations. We want deep, clean lines, good separation, density, muscularity, small waist, good shoulder to waist taper. All right, come on, step up in that box. We're going to start with that front relaxed pose. Feet just a little closer together, toes pointed. Notice how he's standing up. Big trend we see a lot in the pros, which, go ahead and crunch down on your abs. We see a lot of this. This is not an ab shot. This front relaxed pose, we want to see a wide shoulder base, big full chest. We want to see that shoulder to waist taper, you know, a good X frame. We are not looking for your abs in this pose. Do not do that, you know. We want to see the structure, the shape, the flare on the lats. Yep. Give me a quarter turn to the right. Here, we do want to see you control that core. We want these shoulders even, drop that. That way, you don't lose depth. We want you to see that thickness from the side. Big full chest, drop that a little bit. When you do, go ahead and do that, lift that up again. So when you see that, you can see you lose half the body. You're gonna lose a lot of depth and structure. We wanna see that thickness right there. We wanna see that chest, flexing that chest. We want this midsection controlled. The better you can control that, the better you're gonna do. Quarter turn to the right. Feet closer. A lot of guys spread that feet out too far. We want about 6 to 8 inches apart with those heels, pointing the toes to show the sweep. And then if you spread them too far out, it throws the symmetry off and the balance off from top to bottom. You know, it just doesn't look like a good base. We want to see more of that X-frame. Chest up and lean back just a little. Good. Remember, we're sitting down here where JM is, right at the feet. So if you stand too straight up and away from us, it might look good to the back of the audience, but to us, you're going away from us, and we see a lot more holes. When he arches, when he stands up big, he takes up more space here. There's less light coming through, you know? Now, conditioning, we want as lean, hard, and dry as you can be, but we want to see clean lines and separation. We see a lot of guys get up there that are hard, but they're not separated. It's not clean. You can be the hardest guy on the stage. If it doesn't separate that muscle and show that depth, you know, a lot of times that comes with maturity. You can get beat by someone that's softer with a little better separation and a little cleaner lines, because we have to be able to see the separation in that muscle. Quarter turn to the right. Once again, the same as the other side. Keep everything the shoulder square. Nice twist. Control that midsection. Okay? Face front.
Bill, to talk about the gap, I always say the gap when you were talking about having the feet spread out too much. A lot of the times the guys think that their legs are going to look a lot bigger by having the spread. Go ahead, stand wider. A lot of times your legs are going to look smaller. Yeah, your legs are actually going to look smaller because you're separating them. Now, close the gap a little bit.
Point those toes out.
Popping those knees out and everything, it's going to become a one look of the legs, make them look a lot wider.
And then just the top to bottom balance looks much cleaner.
Much symmetrical, yeah.
The key is balance. A balanced physique is a dangerous physique.
Yeah.
You know, no body part should really stand out above the others. Now, we understand when you're coming up in the sport, things like that, things develop at different paces. You know, a lot of people have legs and the upper body hasn't grown into it, or vice versa. The better balance you have, usually the bigger you're gonna look, you know. And the other thing with that front relaxed, when you're up big, not crunching down, you don't want to diminish your physique. Every pose, you want to be as big as you can. Let's go with that front double bicep. You can hit this shot with your legs like that, or you can have them together just like that same relaxed pose. You know, figure out which works best for you. You know, but you want to look balanced and like a good base. Flexing the legs, up just a little. Elbows should be just above parallel. Any higher, it makes the lats disappear. Any lower, you're diminishing your physique. You're diminishing your look. You know, he's expanded, air's up in that rib cage. Once again, not crunching on the abs. This isn't an ab shot. We don't want to see your abs here. There's enough other poses where we see the abs pronounced, and that's what we're looking for. We are looking for the small waist, the taper, the shoulder to waist taper. Next pose, lat spread. Feet together like that front relaxed pose. Toes pointed out slightly to show the sweep. Chest up, you want to finish in the chest. Elbows forward just a little more. Up is big, shoulders even. Okay, finishing with the pecs. Controlling that stomach. Don't let the hand slide too far forward. The hand slide forward, shoulders get narrow, lats don't pop out. So you want to lock those thumbs in place there. These are the front and back lat spreads are the ones we see done wrong the most. Now there's a new trend lately in the pro division that I've been seeing. They put their leg out in front like this or to the side a little bit, doing their lat spread. I'm not real sure why these athletes are starting to do this. It kind of makes the pose look more feminine, and it throws the balance and symmetry off in the physique. We're not trying to do that. You want to stay balanced. You know, so I know you see a couple of the top pros doing it right now. We're not real sure why they're doing it, and we're trying to change a mandatory pose. It's not helping anyone. So if you want to do something like that in your routine, fine, but don't do it for the judging rounds. Side chest. Notice how he smashes his leg against the other knee. That creates an illusion. That pops that out more to create more thickness and depth. This really helps if you're not fully developed yet and have the big legs. It can really help create that illusion of having a fuller hamstring and bigger hamstring than you do. This whole art of posing is to create the biggest and best illusion you can on stage, you know? Shoulders even. Stand up just a tad. Good, right there. Once again, if you raise this shoulder, you lose all that thickness and depth. Okay, so you want to keep that even. The other thing is crouch down. We see a lot of guys crouching down. You're diminishing that physique. You want to be as big as possible. Stand up, open that chest, lift that rib cage, right there. Big and thick as possible. We're not worried about this other than we just want to see it controlled. You know, we're not worried about too much other than seeing that control. But be as big and thick as possible. Pose big. Doesn't matter what weight class you're in. Pose bigger. Face the rear. Back double bicep. When you start with a base, get a nice balanced base. Not too far apart. Everything looks in line. That way you can squeeze everything. You have to practice this a lot to be able to hold this. If you notice, I can push on him. He's not wobbling. You know, you see a lot of people up on toes trying to do things. He's
Doing
got a
too much.
solid base. He can squeeze and flex both sides and be in balance. He's not going to fall over. He's not leaning forward. He's not struggling. Now we want to see the hands back a little further and rotate those elbows forward just a tad. Right there. That pops that bottom part of the lats out. That spreads everything out, and then you're arched back and posing for us. Not like you're posing in the gym straight up and down. Lat spread. Same thing. Start with that base. Really practice. Start early so you can control that. The hands get locked in, the thumbs get locked in right back there. They stay right there. Now you just elbows forward, chest up now. Now pull your elbows forward. You got more. See how much more he has? When he pulls those elbows all the way forward, get those hands back just a little. You have to work on your flexibility with your shoulders to be able to pull these poses off properly. Now when we're looking up here, we see no light coming through here. If he lets his elbows or his hands slide forward, go ahead, slide your hands forward. Now all of a sudden, this shoulder girdle gets narrow, arms are too far forward, and he loses a lot of his lats.
It's an illusion. It's an illusion when you have that gap over here. Just go ahead and do the pose. We want to see the least amount of light right here. So this lighting right here, this is exactly what causes for you to lose it. Go ahead and slide them all the way forward to the point. Too much. Then right here, your waist, everything, your lats, you just lost them.
The other thing we see with lat spreads that are wrong, go ahead, hit it and relax it. A lot of guys will open it up, spread out, and then they relax it back. Now just relax then they relax it back. You got to keep those elbows pulling. Hands locked, keep those pulling and spreading that as far apart as you can.
And notice that he's not jerking around. He's not trying to reposition himself too much. We want to be able to see a shot at least for 5-10 seconds to be able to judge you against the other guys that are on stage. A lot of times these guys keep repositioning themselves to the point where we can't even judge you. So you just lost that pose.
And you can tell he probably just started prep a week or two ago, not even started yet. So it's the off season. He's not struggling with his poses. You know what I mean? So he's been putting work in. That is, if you don't put that work in, it's not fun up here. You know, and especially if it's a competitive class and we have to pose you a lot and want to see if you fade or not, you're going to be up there a while and put through a couple times. If it's a close division, you want to be able to outlast anyone on that stage. You know, because if you can't outlast them, I mean, if you look at a couple of the big pro shows last year, with the top two at the Arnold last year, Akeem Williams and Justin at the Chicago Pro, they were out there, the two of them, probably for 25 minutes because whoever faded first lost. It was that close. So we kept them out there until someone faded, and the first person that faded lost. You know, so you could be out there a long time posing. Side tricep. This is an ab shot. Yes, we want to see the shoulders. Yes, we want to see the tie-ins. Yes, we want to see the triceps and everything. We are looking a lot at your midsection on this pose. Make sure it's controlled. Flex down. Shoulders even. Squeezing that back pec. Hamstring, same as that side chest. You want that pop. You want them pushing in. This helps that front foot or the back foot. That other one's mashed up against it. Right there.
A lot of things I see, Bill, is put your shoulder forward a little bit. That. And you pretty much just lost your chest size, your obliques are not showing. Put it back where you had it. Now you're showing everything. Shoulder flexibility.
As a bodybuilder, you really have to work on that and have that because it affects so many poses. You know, with the do the stretching. Put the extra work in if you really want to be good at this sport and really want to get to that next level. It takes a lot of time learning this. You guys all worry about the diet, the cardio, the gym work. A lot of that's fun. This isn't fun until you get good at it.
Yep.
This is torture, you know, and hopefully you have a good coach that puts you through that torture and gets you ready because posing loses people more shows than you can imagine. You know, there's plenty of times where the best body doesn't win because they can't show us what they actually have. They do a back double bicep, they can't get the lats out. You know, they have the lats. You know, you see it in a front pose, front double bicep, front lat spread. They turn around, their lats are trapped back there. They don't know how to expand them or stretch them. You just lost 2 poses.
And a lot of times the pro judges are trying to help you by calling the shot again. A lot of times you say, why are these judges with the same pose? Why do they keep calling the same pose? They're trying to help you. They're actually trying to help you to get you to show that pose. And sometimes you guys don't get it, and you keep throwing that, you know, and I see this a lot in all divisions. You just pinching the lats to the back, the elbows to the back. And you know what? We try to help you. We try to call you another shot so you could show us what we wanted to see. But you know what? We have to have a winner.
There's many times Gary will be like, should I give him another shot? I'll be like, yeah, give him one more. See if he can get that out. If he can't, he loses that shot. Now, luckily, bodybuilding, you got 8 poses. You got a lot more. In some of the other men's divisions, you got 2 in men's physique. If you lose 1, you lose, period. You know, classic, you got 5 plus the relaxed poses. So you have a little bit more leadway, but you have to master them all. Abdominals on one thigh. Blows out, one leg out in front. You can either lock it out or leave it up. Whichever way you get better separation. You know, there's a couple options. You want that weight on the back foot pushing through the heel so it brings the separation out in the back quad. Now that front one, you can leave it like that or you can lock it out. You can do both, but whichever one is easier for you to show the most separation in. You know, you want to do these poses all the way to the hip. You know, when you're doing them right and you're in shape, we should see everything flex from the hip all the way down. You don't just start at the quad, look at the quad. It goes all the way to the hip. Most muscular, you have a couple options in a most muscular. Pick the one that works best for your physique. You know? All right, let's do right there first. Hands just below the belly button so we can see the abs. Squeeze the chest, shoulders even. Don't squeeze too far forward and let those shoulders round forward on this one. You want to stay up, show the thickness, show the abs, the waist, stay on the legs. Hands on hips. This pose is great for very aesthetic looking bodybuilders. You know, nice small waist that want to show that off, good deep abs. This one works well. It doesn't work well for everyone. You know your physique. Know what looks best on it, you know? And then the crab. This one's a little hard for a lot of people to hit. Bring your hands down just a little. No, down. Now out further in front. There you go. Popping the traps up, squeezing the chest. You want to be able to see some of the midsection there, the small waist. Weights on that back leg. Always pose to the hip with the legs. Do not forget about the legs in any of those poses from the top. You know, we hit a front double bicep. You've got to start with that base, flex those legs, and hold them the whole time. Anything else you want to add?
No, I think that's it.
Anyone have any questions on any of these? Bring people up.
Yeah, let's pose them.
Anyone want to pose? Come up and pose.
I think we have a group over here.